Hey Spacers, it's time to cook. Tonight we're going to be starting off with our first side dish, which is the Gladio Umbra Caviar, otherwise known on Earth as cowboy caviar. So I've started off with 1 can of black beans, 1 can of sweet corn, and 1 can of black-eyed peas. I've cooked those over a skillet, just enough to get them nice and cooked. I've put those into the bowl already, so that way I'm saving some time on the camera. Next, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cubing 2 avocados. Due to the space and time, I've already cubed up 1 of the avocados, well, 1.5, and now I'm cubing up the last one here. That is going to be going into this dish. This is one that I feel is going to be a nice side for our Panther backstrap that we're cooking today. So there we go. We've got 2 cubed avocados going in. Next, I'm going to be dicing 1 red onion here. Do not criticize my cutting skills. I am not a professional. I just like the taste of my food. And this is the way that I've taught myself how to cut my vegetables. We're just dicing up this onion here, so that way we got this nice in here. This is going to be a pretty cool little dish because it's nice and colorful, and the flavor of this is going to be phenomenal. So there we've got our diced red onion. That goes into the bowl. Next, we're taking a whole bunch of green onions, getting this put in there. Trim these ends real quick. Those go off to the side, and then voila. Now we're going to be going all the way up through the green of the green onion because there's all kinds of flavor with everything on here. Bada boom, bada bing. There they go. They go into the bowl. Almost like an Oprah session. You go into the bowl, and you go into the bowl, you go into the bowl. Next, I've got a nice little bunch of cilantro. This is about 1/3 of a cup. I'm just going to dice this up really good. This is going to give us some of that flavor into it. I'm going to chop this up really fine, and then we're going to get this into the bowl. I'm going ahead. I'm even including the stems portion of the cilantro in here, and that's all going to go in. I'm just going down to where the leafy portion ends there. The rest of the stem I'm going to throw out. Just do an extra little dicing job on that. That's going to give us some of that flavor. And that, guess what, goes into the bowl. Next, this is going to be about 3 cups of tomatoes. What I've got in here, because I just like to have a lot of that color pop to it. And hey, we're cooking foods that are out of this universe, so it might as well look like it's out of this universe too, right? So I've got the cherry tomato medley, so you got the different colors of the tomatoes. You got the yellows in there, the reds, a little bit of purple and orange. We're gonna get these diced up. And I've also got 1 of the big beefsteak tomatoes that's gonna be going in here as well. Get these all cut up. Get these in here. All right. Now, to save time on the video, I'm gonna continue dicing these up and put them in there, but you get the idea. These are all gonna go into the bowl. Next, we're gonna come in with our seasoning. This is a Fiesta mix. It's a bunch of Mexican spices, almost like taco seasoning. Not quite, it's just a little bit. If you can find it, you find it. If not, come up with your own version. 1 teaspoon of that, 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt. We're going to sprinkle that in there. Then I've got my chili lemon. This is my generic tahini. We're going to go in 1 teaspoon of that. Get that in there. And then 1 teaspoon of pepper is going in here. That's going to be our seasoning for this. Next, we are coming in here, got 1 tablespoon of that atomic balsamic. You already know how I feel about this stuff, and this is just going to give that pop to this dish. And then 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar. Of course, we got our fancy smanchy stuff. That's going to go in. Next, squeeze in the juice of 4 medium limes. We're going to get these squeezed in here, and then with the movie magic, we're going to cut to the final dish because I'm going to finish dicing up the rest of the tomatoes and squeezing the rest of these limes in here, and I'll be back in 10. Hey Spacers, we're back and we're about ready to finish up the Gladio Umbra Caviar. Now, I finished chopping up the tomatoes, I squeezed the limes, I put them in there. Quick recap of what we did here. We put in 1 can of the black beans, 1 can of black-eyed peas, 1 can of sweet corn. All of those were cooked prior to putting them in the bowl. Then we cubed 2 avocados, put those in the bowl. 1 red onion diced, we put that in the bowl. About 1/3 cup of cilantro. 2 clumps or 1 clump of the green onions, and then we put in 3 cups of diced tomatoes, 1 tablespoon of the red wine vinegar, and 1 tablespoon of my atomic balsamic. And then we hit our seasoning in here. We got our 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt, 1 teaspoon of the Fiesta party mix, 1 teaspoon of the chili lemon, which is my generic tahini, and we got 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and then we finished everything off by squeezing 4 limes into it. Now the last part is we're going to stir this up. Look at how bright that is. That is 1 dish that I am ready to eat. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll end up serving this. You can serve this with chips, anything like that. Just use it almost like a dip and whatnot, or just put it inside and decide to eat it up with a fork. I'm gonna take a little taste here, get a little bit of everything in there. You really get the lime taste. Obviously we squeezed 4 limes in there, but then you get the notes of all the other seasonings and all the beans, and let me tell you, this is good. You're going to enjoy this one. See you on the next dish.